guys, big breaking news coming out. World War III update. The US issued hypersonic weapons warning. The United States of America is behind Russia and China in its development of hypersonic weapons. At the same time, you have Putin said his country is developing new nuclear weapons. Alright guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also the description box. Thank you again for your support. Your support is what keeps us on air. So today I did post a video. Putin issues nuclear warning, and Putin said Moscow expect to announce soon a new weapon. Alright, that has been developing and testing for its vast nuclear arsenal. Wow. So check out the video. The link will be in the comments box. But there's been some very powerful nuclear stuff that is being talked about in very concerning times. And it's like the U.S. commander said, there's two words we don't use, the N-word, and he's referring to the nuclear. So this nuclear submarine out there, Donald is talking about the hypersonic. Putin is going to announce a new nuclear weapon. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. North Korea, they have their hypersonic. Not too long ago, China just put out a message to the U.S. about nuclear war. So there's some stuff going down, and people need to start paying attention. The season is here when it comes to nation against nation. The bear leader. Give me a second here, guys. I click on the wrong one. There we go. I truly apologize. Here we go. The United States of America is behind the Bear and the Red Dragon and its development of hypersonic. Now, a battlefield asymmetry is developing because of the sleeping giant slowness and working on hypersonic compared to Russia and China determination, according to the Atlantic Council study revealed by Axios. And it's true. It's true. We allowed all these other lands to bypass us when it comes to all these powerful equipments. We had some weak sleeping giant leaders that did absolutely nothing. They just did nothing. They were sad. All right, so a hypersonic represents a major shift in modern warfare, threatening to undermine traditional Western military superiority and putting the sleeping giant at a strategic disadvantage, according to a new report by the Atlantic Council Hypersonic Capability Task Force. All right, pay attention, guys. You have all these countries are really upgrading their weapons. It says here, the warning coincides with the U.S. administration push to establish a $175 billion hemispheric missile shield known as the Golden Dome for America, designed to defend against advanced missile warnings, including hypersonic system from adversaries such as the Red Dragon, the Bear, and North K. Once again, China, Russia, North Korea. The Atlantic Council's newly released report highlights a significant and growing capability gap in U.S. hypersonic when compared to the Red Dragon and the Bear advancement. Hypersonic travel at speeds greater than Mach 5, can maneuver in flight, and are challenging to detect and stop with current missile defense system. Wow. Now it says here, the study informed by senior former leaders from the Pentagon, the U.S. Army, Air Force, and nuclear security agencies states that mere incremental improvement will be insufficient to counter the growing asymmetry in the battle space. Now it says here the task force's key findings and recommendation include: number one, hypersonic weapons represent a paradigm shift in modern warfare and must be addressed urgently. Number two, a current missile defense system such as Terminal High Altitude Area Defense (THAAD) and Patriot may be overwhelmed by coordinated hypersonic and are costly to maintain. Number three, the U.S. should develop lower cost, higher capacity missile system and reusable hypersonic aircraft for intelligence gathering and other operations. Number four, it says here collaboration with allies through programs like AUKUS Pillar 2 on technology co-development and production should be increased. Number five, America should explore hypersonic delivery system for nuclear weapons, as conventional aircraft like the F-35A may not survive emerging threat in 2030s. Now currently, Russian hypersonic system under evaluation include the Kinzhal, Sakhan, and Vanguard missiles. Now China feels the DF-17. That's the big one. That's the one they had in their parade. That's the big one they have. That's something that the U.S. keeping an eye on. That's the biggest one the Red Dragon carries. And then they have the DF-26 among system. Now, not too long ago, the Red Dragon put out a video. It was someone very important for the Red Dragon. Warned the U.S. about, when it comes to WW3 and nuclear. The U.S. is developing its own suit, such as the long-range hypersonic, conventional prompt strike, air-launched rapid response weapon, and hypersonic strike cruise missile. Many of these U.S. systems remain in testing or limited deployment phases, according to an August Congressional Research Service report on hypersonic weapons. Now it says here, you have the task force director Stefan Rodriguez told Axios, "We need to act decisively now. That means aggressively fielding the first generation of U.S. hypersonic system, while fundamentally rethinking how we foster an industrial base that can deliver affordable capacity for next generation." Deborah Lee James, former Secretary of the Air Force and co-chair of the task force, told the National Defense Magazine, "It's time to get busy." And that's what this report is all about. It's designed to put forth some actionable recommendation so that we reserve course and that we get going on this very important topic of fielding a capability for hypersonics. Man, that's where we at. We need to get ready. We need to get ready. We need to get busy. We need to start getting stuff prepared. Referring to WW3. So what happens next? Well, the Pentagon and Congress are weighing how to respond to the hypersonic warnings. Recommendations include fast-track new equipment, appointing a centralized weapons czar, improving interagency and coordination and modernization, both detection and defense systems. It says here, future U.S. investment in missile defense initiative such as the Golden Dome for America and ongoing international cooperation with key allies will likely play a prominent role as the U.S. navigates rapid advancement by its strategic competitors. Congressional hearings and further reports are expected in the coming months as policymakers debate budgets and oversight for the hypersonic weapons and defenses. Once again, the U.S. issued hypersonic weapons warning, and at the same time, Putin said Russia is developing new nuclear weapons. And he said that Moscow expect to announce soon a new weapon that has been developing and testing for its vast nuclear arsenal, and warned that the arms race is underway. Wow. Buckle up. Nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom is really building up. These are the seasons, the time. We're definitely seeing great Bible prophecy when it comes to nation against nation. Give me a second here, guys. Now, I missed this one. Give me a second here. I'm just going to read this one because, again, I missed this the other day. The Bear issued new nuclear warning to the U.S. We will retaliate immediately. This is getting really, really ugly. The Bear has issued a warning that it will retaliate if any country, particularly us, the sleeping giant, resume nuclear testing, according to Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei. Speaking to reporters in the State Duma, accused Washington of maintaining nuclear test infrastructure in a state of readiness and signaled that Moscow is closely monitoring. They're keeping an eye on U.S. actions. The comments followed the Bear leader Putin remark at the Valdai International Discussion Club, where he suggested preparation for nuclear tests were underway elsewhere. If a country with the capability makes the erroneous decision to conduct nuclear tests, and Washington is clearly in our focus, then we will retaliate immediately. Wow. The statements mark a significant escalation in nuclear rhetoric between two of the world's most critical nuclear powers. The bare threat of retaliation and its withdrawal from key arms control agreements signal a deteriorating strategic relationship with the U.S. These developments could undermine decades of nuclear nonproliferation efforts and heighten global security risk, particularly as existing treaties approach expiration. The breakdown of cooperation on plutonium disposal and the uncertain future of new strategic arms reduction treaty raise concerns about the erosion of arms control frameworks that have helped maintain strategic stability since the end of the Cold War. Now, the absence of dialogue and mutual verification mechanism could lead to miscalculations and heightened tensions. Wow. It says here, the New START signed in 2010 by the U.S., the former leader Barack, and the Russian former leader Dmitry, remains the cornerstone of bilateral nuclear arms control. The agreement caps each nation at 1,550 deployed nuclear warheads and 700 deployed delivery systems, including missiles and bombers. A key feature of the treaty, on-site inspection to verify compliance, was suspended in 2020 due to the C-19 and has yet to resume, originally set to expire in 2021. The pact was extended for 5 years, pushing its expiration to February 2026. Now, Vladimir echoed, I'm going to skip his name, concerns, saying at the Valdai International Discussion Club that the Bear country believes someone is preparing for a nuclear test. Let me highlight that. Someone is preparing for a nuclear test. He warned that any such action will prompt a retaliation response from Moscow. They know something. They know something. They know something. Once again, this person clarified that the Bear proposal to extend the quantitative limits of New START for 1 year beyond its February 2026 expiration depends on the U.S. avoiding destabilizing actions. These include offensive strategic equipment developments and missile defense initiative that the Bear views as warning to its nuclear deterrence. Now, during a State Duma session, this person announced that the Bear intends to formally terminate its obligation under the 2000 Plutonium Management and Disposition Agreement with the U.S. Now, he cited unacceptable changes proposed by Washington and a lack of consent from Moscow regarding disposal methods. Once again, give this video a like, share the video, guys. The agreement ratified in 2011 required both nations to dispose of 34 tons of weapons-grade plutonium. The Bear suspended its participation in 2016 following the U.S. sanctions, NATO expansion, and increased American military presence in Eastern Europe. Once again, this person reiterated that these shifts, along with the U.S. unilateral changes to disposal procedures, justified the Bear withdrawal. Alright, so I'm just going to skip the rest of it, guys. That's basically it. But this is where we at right now, guys. So you got the U.S. is going to be testing, preparing the hypersonic, sending a hypersonic warning. You have Vladimir with his announcement of a new nuclear weapon. And you got a nuclear warning being sent out to the U.S. We are definitely seeing some concerning times when it comes to WW3. And again, these equipments are WW3 apocalyptic stuff. So again, and a lot of people are building bunkers. UK, the Europeans are urging citizens to prepare, get stuff ready. The hospital are being told to prepare, get stuff ready. So all the signs are out there. The sad part is that many people believe that everything is going to be fine. That's what the people told Noah. Everything's going to be fine. There ain't going to be no flood, Noah. You just a madman. You're building this boat for no reason. People's going to learn the hard way. And it's going to be too late when that day comes. Just like the people running towards the ark, God shut the door on them. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Till next time later. Peace.